One is joining in the group denial. Folks behaving infantile. Family Christmas time.
Oh, we all have that member of the family that you just don't get along with too well. And during the holidays, those feelings can intensify, especially with so many different personalities in one room. And today we have some tips for handling those relatives you love to hate. Communication expert Mary Jane Mapes is back with us to help this morning. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you. It's fun to be here.
So it all starts out with a mirror, and you reference the fairy tale Snow White. Why should we be looking in the mirror this time of year?
Well, like the wicked witch that looked in the mirror, she really wasn't a wicked witch, the wicked queen looked in the mirror and said, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?" And of course she was expecting to get a reflection of herself back, but she didn't. She got Snow White. So I always say the mirror really doesn't lie. It reveals the truth. So if we want to really handle those dysfunctional family members, the best place to begin is to go and take a long, hard look in the mirror, because the person you're looking at is the only one that can really make a difference.
Okay, so you should do that before you handle the holiday gathering. And you say there are two things we need to do before we see our relatives in order to create peace and harmony. I would love to know what those two things are.
Well, the first thing is you want to make sure that you have a vision of how you see the day going, or maybe just how you see the event going. When my daughter was 17, I realized we had had like 3 years of doing battle. And one day it just struck me, you know, Mary Jane, if you want a different relationship with her, maybe you need to start acting as if you already had the one you wanted.
Okay.
And so I created a vision, started acting out as though we already had that. And our relationship turned around. It was really quite amazing. You know, relationships are a lot like a dance. And so if one person changes the dance step, eventually the other person pretty much has to move with them.
So what was her response to that? I mean, are people, when relatives feel a difference in your attitude or your demeanor, do you find them saying, "Oh, okay," and just going along with the flow, or just backing away in most times?
Oh, no. I mean, people pretty much react to what we give off.
Okay.
I mean, for every action, there is a reaction. So if our actions are different, the reaction will be different.
Okay, and you have a strategy for pesky, pompous, and poisonous people. What is it?
Well, I do, and it's called Think Exceptional.
Okay.
I once challenged a group of salespeople to do this, and I said, go back to your hotel tonight, practice this on somebody. When you see them, just think of them as exceptional, like it's plastered across their forehead. Woman came back the next day, said, I was standing in front of the elevator last night. A large ethnic group of teenage girls came up. She said they were loud, they were boisterous, they had no elevator etiquette. She said I was standing there, they crammed in ahead of me. When I squeezed in, the door shut. All I could think of was how annoyed I was. And then I thought about what you said. I changed my thinking and I thought, well, these girls are just exceptional. And she said if the change in energy had not been that so swift, if their reaction to me had not been so immediate, I would never have believed it. By the time I got off at the 12th floor, you'd have thought we were long lost friends. Wow. It works not just with salespeople, but it also works with dysfunctional family members. So when you see that person, exceptional.
Change the energy in the room immediately.
Yeah.
Okay, and then your last tip is to use an imaginary cape for gatherings like this during the holidays. What do you mean by that?
Well, I always put on an imaginary cape whenever I'm dealing with anybody that's a little more difficult. And that is, when I have the cape on, I'm present to you, and I have access